Oh yeah, it ain't over, motherfuckers. What's going on, everybody? Welcome right back to Kart Lounge. If you're here, you already know why. And just in case you don't, Kart Lounge is essentially a subdivision of regular lounge where only karts are allowed here on play. Now, lounge in general is basically considered the standard for competitive Mario Kart, so hence this is the kart equivalent. And this is the first time I've really kind of played vanilla in a while. I've been on a big retro rewind grind. That's been kind of my juice and jam. But of course, with a new season comes a chance to go full throttle and try and do what we can against our fellow competitors. Now, I know it's been quite a while since I've really gotten around to uploading any previous episodes regarding last season and beyond. Like, I think 8 and 9 really were the last ones I really properly played in, and then again 9 I barely really touched. But if needs be and I get around to it and it's not too much of a hassle, I can definitely see myself uploading the rest of those in due time. But for the meanwhile, I'm gonna make a big push in season 10. I'm really digging this game again right now, and main reason being that I've been kind of shifted focus right now for this game is because KOF's kind of been a little bit strange in terms of the competitive integrity because of the fact that SWC has drastically changed format, and they announced mid-season that they're changing the ending bracket for the top 32 to down to top 16 for KOF, which is like a big hit for the overall hype and marketing surrounding it. So I've kind of just felt like if I just step back and I played this instead, it's probably going to work out a little better long term, just in terms of like my my enjoyment, more or less. And hopefully everyone else has provided that they want to pull up and watch Mans. So yeah, I think that's basically most of what I want to address right now, kind of out of the way. So I think without further ado, we're gonna get this puppy started. Alright, internet. Now, before I do, actually, I should address this is a 2v2 event. I'm with Sam, I believe. And this is like my first vanilla event again in quite some time. I actually played this while I was in Bordeaux with my friend Kiwi, so shout outs to them for hosting me and giving me a platform to play on while I'm away from home. Hence the tag, go to the gym, got InfernoKong after like the first few events. As of course I didn't have my Wii with me, I only had like, my stuff on my SD card. But anyway, enough rambling, we gotta get this shit popping, internet. Let's see what's going on. I'm gonna just adjust the volume a little bit on the... Yeah, on the video. Okay, that should be fine. I've not watched back these races again. This is pretty much a live reaction we're working with here. So we're going to see what's off the bat. Yeah, straight away. Unsheathe the green shell. Yeah, I don't think there was any way I could have reasonably avoided that. Just unloaded the entire thing. A barrage of greens left, right, and center. Nothing you can do about that. Alright, yeah, using one shroom. I kind of feel like I could have contemplated using another, to be perfectly honest, but considering I wasn't really guaranteed an opportunity to get rid of the last one, it's probably better I just hold on to 2 anyway. Thankfully, I still look like I remember Vanilla Lines quite well up to this point, despite the, intrusive thoughts to want a UMT. That shock was at like 41 or something, so, my shrooms have been revoked and broke, so I gotta go and try and hustle for something else, go for wide box left. Get another shroom. Hopefully we'll be able to take up with this thing. No, I'm sniped in the middle of it. That was a good throw. Yeah, I gotta back it up. I just feel like there's not really a lot I've done all that wrong, to be honest. That was just, sometimes you get shit on and sometimes just have to kind of, deal with that shit. So yeah, use Bill here. This takes me up the left side, and that is gonna get me a box guaranteed at least. I don't know if I get 1-6 here, do I? No. Yeah, no. A little too fast to be able to drop by for just a little bit. But triple stream is still good. I mean, shock is now in play again, so the potential to lose them is on the table here. Yeah, just like that, right away. It's not worth trying to cheese a Mega there, really, man, because it's like, what else? There's not a hell of a lot I can do with it. And obviously, like, it just feels kind of foolish to, at that point, go for something with an item pool where, like, There's like 13 items, I think, that 5th can get. Something like that. You know, 13 separate items. Build down the middle. Able to just take it tight. Duck and weave. Star on my rear. Hot fucking bogey on my tail. Yeah, like, again, no way I can reasonably avoid that. But I do scrounge a box here. Do I get Bill? Yeah. This at least gets me, okay, it gets me like 1 or 2 points. So, you know. I had backup strats ready at least for that instance. So, you know, I think I still played that pretty well, all things considered. That's the thing with this game, man. Like, you can just basically get shit on, and a lot of the time, you have to just accept it. I should get my E-Chong ready for this as well. I'm gonna need something to bide some time, you know what I'm saying? Alright, next race, Maple Tree Way. I usually always like to go for a box left here at the start. Like, if I'm not starting in first, generally speaking. Okay, green's to my right. Thankfully, don't actually end up hitting them out of cannon, which is, you know, that's something that can pretty often happen. So I'm thinking I just hold this gold until lap 2 was what I was going through my mind at the time. Not really, because obviously there's no other practical application right now. Alright, at least clears the way for me there, getting I think that was Shun that they sniped. Yeah, nice slow down there. Yeah, just kind of predicting the back. It was close to my line though, so it's not like I couldn't have gotten shit on, but again, it's precaution, you know? It's big part of playing a kart in general, in my opinion. You've got to be really cautious of your surroundings. But that's really the kind of the mark of a good player anyway, is when they are establishing that for themselves. This is a nice fib here, yeah. Obviously just hiding that shit away. They were a big problem with triple greens. Alright. Pack's pretty close, all things considered. Not a great POW. I do lose a little bit of time there to second. Obviously getting a box there just wastes too much time, right? And I already have a big enough lead to warrant not going for it, so it's just not a decision in my mind at that point. No triple trick, but I guess I just wasn't on cycle for that. Yeah, left side, nice. Clean fib evasion. I don't cut that tight just to be safe. I'm not totally trusting the line there that I had set up. Not backing anything there. 2 bait. It's like so fucking obvious, you know. One of those backs that's just been, you know, stable forever. Yeah, and I barely missed that shroom, but I feel like if I actually got it, I still would have got blued. I feel like I would have grabbed it a little too early. But, you know, I think it still would have been worth a try. But then again, it's like, what's the aftermath going to look like on that turn on the branch? It's going to look fucking awful. I'm probably still off. So again, probably not a very playable situation if I had to guess. Yeah, going straight here in case of backing that banana, like, yeah, it makes sense. And obviously left side here, because I just basically get second guaranteed. And then, you know, just throw that green because I gotta try something, right? Could potentially land a side snipe right at the end, and I could basically shit on his dinner right before the line and make him cry on the inside and out. So, I mean, what are we on? 28 after 2? That's pretty acceptable, I would say, yeah. Pretty acceptable. Even if Sem didn't scrounge up some points, he got first last time, so it does definitely make up for that in a lot of ways. You know, first is so big in a 8-player format because the point difference between first and third is literally like 7 points. It's insane. Second only gets you 11 as well, so, you know, it's, you really have to nickel and dime your positions to a point where you have to really, like, want the big gains ASAP. And only big gains. Now we got RBC 64. It's the track I authentically fuck with. I get rammed right into that swamp, right on the side. So, you know, maybe could have just adjusted to that by looking at the mini-map, you know. Again, I don't think there was any way I could have reasonably avoided that. Or this TC pass. I unfortunately ended up passing it to my teammate. who then passes it to S, which is good. So it actually keeps us in the race somewhat. Triple shrooms, I mean, not much use to them. Just gotta, like, use them, burn them, wherever I can. Got next set coming up here. I mean, given how far last is, you want a star, really. But, I mean, golden's not the worst thing you could pull here. Yeah, straight away, just blast off. To the moon. To the moon, though. Yeah, nice big golden there. Japan top 2, so you know they're gonna be laggy, my guy. Straight up DBZ lag. I really like that play there. That was sick. Good job on avoiding the bananas there. Again, slowing down for it. I'm surprised I didn't hold left earlier with my handling there. That would have been enough to maneuver around the banana. That one was a little bit harder to avoid, all things considered. But, you know, probably still doable. Yeah, that's my teammate coming on up. I'm going to hold this red out for anyone behind me, which, to be fair, they're a decent distance away, so... It's not going to be a problem for them until they start coming up, because I think I just saw someone billing. And I think they're out their bill already. Yeah, I have to back that immediately, like, out of my teammate's line. Hopefully it would get someone, basically, was the mentality I had. Yeah, take cut here, makes sense. Yeah, first was a decent break. That was a nice back. They basically didn't unveil it until I was in the runner's line, which, yeah, that's a good, smart play from them. I think that was Chase. I'm pretty sure that was Chase. Again with the play. That was really nice, man. There are times where I'm getting hit by items, whether it was out of my control or not, but I'm still, like, doing what I can otherwise. I basically neglect boxes so I can try and take cut as fast as possible. But that's mostly just something I'm kind of out of practice with this on this track. So, you know, could have still chained if I had a better line in. Yeah, triple reds. Like, yeah, just hold them out, because I don't really think I can do much else. And then, yeah, I remember this. Blind Bill from right side. Like, again, that felt very unavoidable at the time. But, again, maybe if I consulted the mini-map ahead of time to think that someone could have had Bill, it probably could have been avoided in some fashion. But, it's hard to say, really, like, right at the end. You know, it's not something you can really, like, have the foresight for until it happens, you know? It's like, oh shit, yeah, maybe I could have done something to properly adjust my line there. But, yeah, either way, this is the last race for GP1, DKS. As we know, this is my favorite track in the game because it just works so well. It just functions as intended every time, no issues, zero issues. DK Summit and the Zero Issue boys on the track. Little rock in here. I was kind of fucked up. Bombing 2 though. Try and throw that forward. That feels like it could have hit had they not got airtime there. Didn't want to humor double there. Really bad landing. I was a little bit too far right on the entrance there, and my landing was therefore pretty shit. We were 2-3 for a sec. Shun fucks up though, so that gives me first. But again, physics on this track, oh, they work so well. You know, I mean, clearly my fault. Yeah, clearly my fault, right? I don't understand this track at all, man. Like, it's the hardest track because you can't ever make it your bitch no matter how hard you try. Like, every other track actually can be done 100% of the time for the most part. The only other exception I feel to that would maybe be DDR, but even then, Zipper, as unforgiving as it can be done quite consistently. Yeah, and that bump killed it, pretty much. I tried to save it with a shroom, just so I could still take double and at least have one in reserve. But, no. No. Golden. Rinse that straight away. This actually gets me to first set before cannon, so it's, yeah, pretty ideal to spam it there. Get a blue. Had to adjust my line pretty much, you know, exclusively for that fib. I figured there would have been a box spawn on the right, hence why I didn't go up this ramp there. All my shit getting jacked. Can't get a box for life. I try and adjust my line so I can do double. No, actually, that wall hit definitely helped a bunch. It helped a fucking big deal. So we're actually able to maybe close out a half-decent spot. Oh yeah, no, I remember this. Yeah, I got a horrible line into that. Which, again, I don't even really know how you accomplish that, you know? It just feels like, oh, that's what the game wanted to give me, so whatever. So that was like a... I want to say that was a 7-point mistake, so that's pretty unfortunate either way from me. I didn't get quite the right lineup, but if you ask me, that GP was kind of shit, right? Like, I felt in some instances there wasn't a lot of control I had over the races. But in the instances I felt I could have done better, I definitely could have, you know, so... It is what it is. You can't let that kind of thing fluster you all that much. You can get pissed in the moment and think whatever right after. You know, you just gotta have a pretty healthy method of thinking to it. Now we've got RDS, Delfino Square, Delfino. Now I am alright with running this, I think, even though this track is bare silly. Mostly because, you know, 8 players, and if people overbag, like, you know... Like, blue's not that likely. Shot isn't the most likely, even though obviously it still can happen. But yeah, see, like, I've established a pretty nice lead already so far. Bodying man's in the process. Pretty good driving all around. Pretty much just have to keep up the pace here because teammates in 6, they could... you know, but they're potentially setting themselves up for a dodge here. Alright, yeah, still good lines all around. Yeah, I think I'm driving quite well. Shock happens. Actually happens at a good time because I was still considering doing a single dot there. And in my mind, I was contemplating otherwise, so I'm glad Shock basically made the decision ahead of time. Kind of an awkward line. Yeah, fucking hell, man. God, he sucks. God, he sucks. I probably just done a MT there instead of an SMT, just given that my growth timing was quite bad. Or better yet, I could have just like counted down the seconds until I got the regrowth. Hold on a second, I'm gonna get a quick swig. Okay, yeah, I'm back here. Something in 6. Probably seems like my best bet is to hold, right? Because if I get star second set, like, I can't take double with it, pretty much. I have to go exclusively with single at that point. The one cut here. But thankfully, no shock. We do make double. I get something in 4. Single red. It's kind of not really all that good. But, you know, at least if it fends off the rest of the pack, it's okay. I just throw it to try and get first anyway, but obviously reds are kind of bare silly, so they decide to, like, lock on early. But maybe if I throw it sooner, like, yeah, I could have, but then I'm obviously risking my my own positioning at that point, so I kind of just held off for a little bit. I still think it probably would have been a better play just to hold regardless and take second. Get whatever points I could, considering the fact that my teammate didn't get a great spot. Now we have Gold Mine. Pretty staple flyer track, so, you know, I don't mind starting in second here. Yeah, good of me to burn that shroom. I've been really getting into the habit of using shrooms straight away when I'm in, like, second here. Because, I mean, any space you can, like, warrant against, like, the rest of the pack early is such a big help, but obviously Shun's fucking chunky arse sent me to the gulag, so that pretty much sets me back a bunch. Maybe if I could drive a little better, it would have helped, but Blue Shell already out. Shun getting to eat shit for what they caused against me. Yeah, goldening here makes sense. I think this takes me into first set for lap 2. And then, I can't tell if that was thrown forward or back, but if that was back, then that's, like, fair enough. Like, they could have seen me golding up there and just stopped me in my trails. That was at 58, that shot. So, yeah. You know, 5th place box, I don't even really know if it's worth it at that point, but to be perfectly honest, Considering how close I was to that set, it felt pretty warranted in my mind. At least try for something, you know. I could have made that way worthwhile if I had something better, but you know, at least now golden here is gonna help me catch up like big time. Unfortunate pal though. I think I bombed with a box here, right? I tried. Fucking hell, that was such a bad angle for that. Yeah, I really wish I got that 6th placer now because my mate got a TC. So now I'm just kind of stuck with something that's really like pretty middling, all things considered. 147, yeah. Nobody got TS from the looks of it. This just seems like 5th to me. Yeah. Let's try and side snipe him there. Red actually goes for Shun instead. Try and get the power dodge there. I stake that TC, which is a pretty nice play from me to do so. But that draft felt unavoidable, and I just lose 2 spots anyway for it. Yeah, unfortunate. I don't think there was any way I could have really avoided that guy drafting off of me, eating my ass. So, feels like, yeah, I had no choice on the matter. Oh well, what's a brother to do, right? Alright, MC3, here we go. Ah, finally, real tracks. No gimmicks like tricking, just pure driving. Now I get an absolutely godlike pull, but the thing is I used it a bit early just for the TC. So I don't actually get to take the cut here in time. If I took that exit a little wider, it would have been a lot better for me. So that's something I gotta remember for next time. Still, pack spread is really fucking weird. Like, you know, top 4 are all together and then bottom 4 are all, you know. That was a crazy green attempt. I've got to steal that strat. That almost went right into my line. That was so close. Alright, 42. Not all that bad, all things considered. You know, obviously feeling like, in general with this track, a feeling I get is that running is a bit of a fool's errand, but you just, in my mind, it's always about playing your situations accordingly. That's the #1 goal here when you're playing. You just have to play by ear and feel. Yeah, power's okay, I guess. I think I avoid that red incoming. I have no idea how that one hits me, and then double redded. So that's pretty fucked up. And then, yeah, I remember this misplay here. So shock happens. I really should have just taken box, backed it up. You see me consider it there, but I didn't fully commit to it. So it cost me so much time. Yeah, I feel like that could have been the thing to change there had I done so in the moment. Back that arse up and get me something better for the ending. So it's really going awful for me so far. This is just genuinely not playable in so many ways. But I mean, let's face it, if this is the only way I'm getting bad spots, it's just what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Can't let me win all the time. Now we got good old reliable KC. This is my stomping grounds. Just the most perfect thing you can get at the start is going to be a golden, like, through and through. Yeah, you see just how much you're able to kind of, like, blast off with it. You know, you're just being able to smoke these guys straight away. Nice pipe exit there. Nice and tidy so far with these lines. I don't even think the driving is necessarily a bad thing. It's just like the small moment-to-moment decisions that are kind of like affecting more than, you know, that you think in the moment. Let's see how I handle this with these Rift Bananas. That was a good attempt, actually. I saw them in my line on the rear view and I tried to just surprise them with Banana. Try to get the landing on ramp, but they go around instead. I don't track cut there at all because Banana's my single defense. I'm getting used to the idea of if I've only really got one item for defense that's already in my you know, that I'm already pulled out, and I've got a fib in my inventory, I tend not to use it, you know, to exhaust it. But I felt like if I tried it there on pipe entrance, it could potentially catch someone. You know, it slows them down a decent bit. Fib again. If I recall correctly, I placed this on landing here. Yeah, like kind of sort of wide from the runner's line. That was close call on that banana there from me. That was my own trap. Yeah, now we lay the whole thing down. Good crash cut again. Yeah, go for a box, of course. Go for the second one to be safe. Also, just take that safe in general because I remembered my banana there from lap 2 and I wasn't sure if anyone hit it. Yeah, just like relentlessly trying to keep people at bay here. And it seems to me that is a first place in the bag. The very first actually good fucking race that I got to play. And it's all because of good old KC. Always doing me favors, man. It's always a hooking a brother up. So I think that was the end of GP2, and that pretty much just like salvaged the entire GP for me because I would have been on a, you know, either below 20 or just around the 20 mark. So 31's nice. Like 31's a good average, I think, especially in 8 players when the points are so skewed. All right, well, GP2 obviously in first. Unquestionably the best track in the game to start in first on. In I would imagine most everyone's mind, to be honest with you. There's not really anything that can go wrong, all things considered. It's just blue, potential target power, which is still kind of unlikely, and shot, which is like, you know, you very rarely see it here. Missing that SNT cost me a bit of time, which on a track like this, you really don't want to afford any sort of time loss. Especially with like the driving in general, really. Like that's the big element to being able to keep a lead here. But nonetheless, I'm still able to do that quite well so far. It seems like I'm gonna close out first again. Yeah, look at that. Wow, yeah. Yeah, not much to say really on that matter. It was just decent driving all around. Backing people caused them to go wide, even if it didn't hit. So that basically gave me a means to save time. So, yeah, we got top 2 even. That's awesome. Oh, someone DC'd? Fucking hell. Well, 7 players is not playable. Disney presents Kart Lounge. 7 players? Fucking hell. Get real, man. I think someone DC'd on purpose. Like, straight up pussy strats. They actually don't even warrant owning a pussy at that point. They got no dick, no balls, no nothing. Just fucking avoid. At least we got Stadium next. This is another prime track for me to try and run. Nobody taking cut there. I preempted my line a little bit there just to account for cut takers so I could potentially back them. Nice turn skip. That was really good. We got the power dodge off just in time as well. That really like that was a really important turn skip to nail there. Good driving all around. Nice lap 1 for Stadium. I reckon like 41's okay for online streamless. At least in my combo, because I know Funky could definitely get like a low 40 here. That was fortunate. I thought I was going to side snipe me. And then, of course, Blue Shell. Can't have a blueless run for shit. Even in 7 players. Still not competitive. Yeah, fair to burn that shroom, to be honest. But, you know, on the second thoughts, maybe I could have just ended up saving anyway, just in case I got a TC. Fuck up turn skip there. Some I just need to kind of like nail down more, to be honest. Then my teammate hits my fib and then hits my trail, which I couldn't really like negate from happening at that point with the line, to be honest. bare people got to yes, like literally like 3, 4, 5 all just got fucking I can't even finish my thought after that. I really grew into that green. That is so fucking gay, man. Again, I feel like I could have taken better account for that, but we got ourselves triple shrooms here. Very nice pull, very fortunate. Saw the fib as well on landing right side of wall bounce, whatever it's called. I don't take turn skip here, of course, just gonna try and play it safe. You know, Shun could have trapped it. I don't doubt that he would have in his mind if he wanted to. And then, yeah, kind of tight and then a little wide just to be sure, you know. Oh, and then the blooper basically just cost me a spot there. Actually cost me 3 points, that blooper. Had I been actually able to see that landing, I'm pretty sure that was easily avoidable, but blooper genuinely killed my chances at second there. That's crazy, man. You almost never see that type of shit where a blooper just straight up is the reason why you lose a spot or two. It's so it's extraordinarily rare in my opinion. BC3 suckers, the great reset. The great reset of Mario Kart Wii. I've been very consistent with my cuts lately with shrooms. There will come a point where I'm going to start humoring Shroomless Scott online. I just need to actually have the time to sit down and warrant it. So yeah, change star here. I want shrooms. You can do it in a star, but like I'm not very good at it. It's the same as standstill mini turbo method, I'm pretty sure. Again, nice cut there, very clean. Cut wasn't blocked, but it wouldn't have mattered if, you know, at the pace I was at, to be able to take cut in my star, even if that was properly blocked, I still would have been able to just, you know, make that fib go extinct. Try and time my back here just so it could catch second place there. Doesn't seem like it quite did the job. Could have even been a little early or something, but hard to say, you know. Hard to kind of judge and gauge that point. Banana there for me in first blind. I don't know where that was. Obviously, it wasn't in my memory banks. It wasn't registered at all, so that was just going into that turn blind pretty much. Good line so far. Yeah, good handling of the power. It was a perfectly fine power. Try and back green there. There's got to be something else I can do to like mask that from that kind of distance from second, surely. That is so risky snaking there on that straight, by the way, at the end, because, yeah, that's why. And then obviously I get double shot credit, because I'm pretty sure second pulled triple greens, because 7 players. So, thanks to that fucking pussy boy who decided to quit and again make the event worse for everyone else. You're the reason why people think this shit is some Mickey Mouse crap, man. Anyway. Banana placement. Down on the ting. Pretty sure it's fully blocked off now. Cock block cut. That barely edges that shit out. Oh, yeah, and that turn was horrible. I'm actually going to play that back because, as you'll see in a sec, using that shroom is basically my biggest detriment. Yeah, had I just exited my drift and counter-steered right, I would have been able to handle that and keep the mushroom for the inevitable blue shell. And then obviously blatant combo because I can't move out of the runner's line there. And despite the fact that I'm the only person that actually took cut, I probably should have taken a box wide there as well. I get fucking a shitty spot. Because I'm going to attribute it mostly to triple reds in 7th. That wasted so much fucking time, even when small. So, yeah, that's so cool, man. That's sick nasty as fuck, you know. Couldn't have asked for a better instance to happen to me. It's so typical, though. I can't get mad at this anymore, man. It's been filtered out of me so much, like, genuinely. There's just no need to get pissed, because, like, just think about the next race, or the next event even, if you wanted to think that far into the future, you know? There's plenty of gains in the future for me, and it's written in the stars, okay? That's just how it is. Talking of the stars and the cosmos, we end off the whole event on Rainbow Road, which is pretty thematically appropriate, given it's the last course in the Nitro Cups. This is a very popular track in Kart Lounge, just because it's, you know, it's a kart track, right? Even in vanilla, this is like the only track in the game with a kart world record that is the world record. Nice back there. Nice jackstrat incoming. That red ain't got shit on me. Yeah, I try and go wide just in case Shun exits cannon with triple greens. It's a very likely scenario, so I was just not really humoring it. These throws aren't so great though. Yeah. I don't know if I could have adjusted that in some way. Maybe. Little pocket of air there. Could have potentially just flung me into the wall. Nice evasion! That was sick. See, I think overall, fundamentally, the driving fundamentals are there. It's just, like, small things, you know, that have been costing me points in this event. Shun tried to be a big winner dog, but he fucked up. And then my teammate hooks me up with the cannon dodge. Isn't 2v2 so competitive? Isn't it actually just the best format? I never want to play FFA ever again, because it's just not skill-based. I love team events, man. So fun. So fun. So now at this rate, you know, we're in first. We got to swag it out a little bit. We got to actually establish the fact we're in first for a good reason, yeah? Because we drive like a sick, nasty freak. Let's see how this goes. Yeah. Right there. Yeah, I don't want a humor jack there. That makes total sense. But we do get a mushroom out of it, so that breaks even somewhat to be able to have that there for me. My fifth gets lost. Oh, man. Pretty tragic for them, I gotta say. And yeah, pretty simple things there, man. I backed there on the rail. Sorry, not the rail, the boost panel. Just to give my teammate a chance to potentially scrounge up some points. But it doesn't look like anyone bit, and Shock there did not help his case either. So I think that's ending it with 1-6, maybe? Yeah, Lash just gave up with looks of it. They just fucking bolted off the track. So yeah, honestly, on my part, I think I scored pretty well overall. I think it was like 89 or something. First GP was a dud. The two after that were, you know, ranging from like pretty average to like, you know, good. Like 40 is a solid GP. Okay, so that's the end of it. Alright. Internet. You know how it is. Thanks for tuning in as always. I will be streaming more Kart Lounge eventually. I have done a couple of events already, but for the most part, from what I have in my archives, it's all home movies. So I'm gonna go through it and do you guys some commentary, you know, piece by piece. So okay, you know, considering this is like the first event of the season, this was a placement race. So I've got a couple more of those going up. I'll let you guys know how it goes, you know, what I end up placing in. I'll leave that as a spoiler-free zone for now, so you guys can see how things will go on from that point on. Obviously, yeah, table results will be right at the end, of course. I do at some point plan on just having tables per GP, so that people can actually, like, keep up with the standings and, you know, just, like, follow along with the story, right? Like, what the lore is of the event. But with that said, thanks a lot so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for, you know, just rocking up the man's joint and checking his things out. And that's about it, I think. So, yeah, have a good one, Internet. Take it easy.